We should be ready now. So let's start our open mic time here, and I'm going to invite you to just come up to the mic. Honestly, if you want to just say 5 words, that's okay, or just 1 word, or you want to talk for a minute, that's okay too. But it's our time to just share and express what's within us. So I'm going to start, and I think given that I just came back from a trip to Orlando for a convention and had just a wonderful, amazing experience, which I did not anticipate because I was really wondering, do I want to go to another convention? I'm retired from speech therapy, and but I have to keep my certification if I should want to keep working. So I went, and it was really amazing. And the most amazing thing about it was Uber. And who's not done Uber ever? Have you, anybody who, okay, well, mixed. But anyway, I'm just amazed at this thing we have. You pick up your phone, it knows where you are, and you tell it where you want it to go, and then your driver will be here in 3 minutes or in 7 minutes or whatever, and you get to watch your driver on the little map, and then it tells you their name and what kind of car they have and their license plate, and it's just so much fun because you never know who you're going to get and what it's going to be like. But 90% of the time I've had such fabulous experiences with Uber drivers, and male, female, older, younger. And being in Orlando, I had a plethora of people who were from Venezuela and Cuba and the Caribbean, and just really interesting people, and had wonderful conversations with them. And I mean, just talk about an opportunity to get to be in the midst of diversity and recognize we're all the same. We're all just wonderful, loving beings doing the best we can in our world with whatever circumstances have come our way. And it's this little 10 to 15 minute opportunity to be me human and you human, and sharing our stories. And so I just felt just intense gratitude and love for this expansion of my awareness of people and the plights of people, especially the 2 from Venezuela who are here because they're not safe in their own countries, and they're not able to thrive in their own country. And so it brings back to me just how fortunate I am to have a safe home, to have opportunities for income, to have opportunities to express my skills and talents, and be able to travel and be able to take in more in my life. So I'm very grateful for that, and I'm grateful for coming back here and being with my wonderful Interfaith family. So who would like to come next? Come on up. So you can just kind of start making a little line. I don't have to call on you.
I wanted to get out of the way, or else I thought I'd just sit there the whole time thinking about my own stuff instead of sharing. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I was able to go to New York for my grandma's 90th birthday party. And to begin with, we're grateful that she's still alive because she almost died 6 months ago. But I've always felt very disconnected from my roots. I don't know what your guys' experiences are. But my family moved around a lot growing up. I wasn't near any of my grandparents. And even beyond that, like, my family's lived in this country for generations. There's no cultural roots to speak of in my families, and I've always been so obsessed with seeing these people who have these strong heritages, and I've just always felt like such an American mutt with no roots, and so I've been really focusing recently on trying to find those roots in myself. And then when I was at my grandma's birthday, we were able to stay across the street from where my great-grandfather used to work. So I was able to just really, even though I don't know how far my roots go back, but I was able to give so much gratitude for, realizing upstate New York is kind of, I guess, my path to my roots, And so I guess that's what I'm really grateful for, that opportunity. And then also my ancestors. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Thanksgiving was always my favorite holiday because it was just like eating pumpkin pie and like playing games, and it was like a family thing. This was before Black Friday. So anyway, Bill and I decided we would get married around Thanksgiving. We got married the Saturday after Thanksgiving because, well, mostly because it was a long weekend and we were living in Ohio and our wedding was in Michigan, but anyway, it was always my favorite holiday, and I'm very thankful that we've been married for 42 years this next Tuesday. He's the love of my life.
Hi, everybody. I just want to express gratitude for the Yahoo group, our email listserv. I used it twice this year, I think only twice, both in kind of desperate situations. One was for my dear friend Margot, who was going through a very difficult time. She used to be part of our community, but very few people remember her. And I got so many messages of support for her that I read to her over the telephone. She lives way up north, and it meant so much to her, and it helped her get through the difficult times. So I'm deeply appreciative of that. And then recently I had a crisis with my car, necessitating needing to do things that I've never done before, like get rid of a car, deal with the winter tires, and then find a new used car, all while renting a car. And you know how expensive that gets. And I reached out to the Yahoo group and got all sorts of advice and support, and it made me pursue leads that I didn't even know existed. So I'm just eternally grateful for our Yahoo group. Thank you.
I should be a paraplegic. I had an accident in 2011, and several medical people said that most people that have what I had are paraplegics. Since then, it took a long time of healing, and a lot of it was cognitive therapy or mindful therapy. And I realized, if Bob gives me a cookie and I say thank you, that's not gratitude, that's manners. Gratitude to me is I have this sense and that the blessings we receive are infinite in number, and they are constant. And every beat of my heart is a blessing. I could say, thank you, heart, thank you, heart, thank you for that one, thank you, it gets silly. I just have this sense of gratitude that, I don't know what I'm saying. It's like it's an attitude that I have that I'm blowing this. I just feel so grateful. If Bob gives me a cookie, I'm grateful that I can have this sense of taste. I know someone who had breast cancer and chemotherapy took away their sense of taste. I'm grateful that I can taste that cookie, that I'm grateful for my friend Bob. I'm grateful for, it's infinite. I'm sorry. It's an attitude more than manners. I probably did terribly, but thank you.
Back in 1999, I bought this book, and it's a book of days, and it has blank pages for the calendar. And so I wrote random entries from different years into the dates. And this is what I wrote in 1999, the day after Thanksgiving, which happened to be the 25th, so 20 years ago. Today I recall magic and memories distilled from other times and places. What magic will I distill from this time and place? So much of my time is spent anticipating what this moment, what these series of moments will bring me to. A magical time and place for having lived right. But cultivating the magic of this moment is anticipation enough. I can collect memories and hoard them in my heart, but all is for naught if I didn't live fully in the moment that made them. A moment must be sufficiently rich unto itself, without concern for memory's blessing. It is true that the impact of certain choices is not necessarily tangible, and yet it is necessary to go where they lead, and to trust that greater expansion is imminent. It is not fair to prejudge the value of an event based upon the fears of limited expectation. Faith in such instances is paramount in the occurrence of the event itself, for all things are revealed in hindsight. Follow your trust in expansion, even though the events themselves may seem blandly and insistently ordinary. Herein lies the magic of memory's blessing.
I really wanted to jump in after Rob because I want to build on that. Living a life of gratitude is a feeling of oneness, and whatever I'm grateful for right now, you guys are holding those thoughts of gratitude also, and whatever you're grateful for is flowing through me as well. And I just want to acknowledge how grateful I am to find this community. I left Idaho, I've been sort of on a lot of adventures, but and I've always trusted that I would end up where I was supposed to end up. And this is where I was supposed to be, not just for the Science of Mind study group, but for finding my voice, finding this beautiful home that I'm rehabbing, and everything about that home has got something that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the Steelers, not because they're playing today, but because my son and I have this connection over this stupid team. I am grateful for my daughter coming tomorrow, and even though she's gone through a sort of a really painful transition, her and I are building a new knowing, and I just can't wait for it. So thank you all for being one with me and I with you.
Mine's not going to be very long. I just wanted to share an expression of thanks for this community and for each and every one of you for simply being here. I mean, everybody, there's so many people that give so much to this, but even simply being here is giving of yourself. And for those of us watching later, transcending time and space on the recording as well. So, thank you.
I had to write some reflections down, and that should be apparent in a minute. I mean, it's easy to start with the same things that most everybody in the room are grateful for. I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful for friends. I'm grateful for work, being employed full-time in a job I find meaningful and challenging and delightful. The inspiration that I find for writing and for dancing. But I started thinking about how much I have to be grateful for in terms of this community and in this space. In just the last year, I've been part of the drumming circle, been part of the leadership team. I've been the volunteer coordinator and the welcome table coordinator, and I've done the welcoming itself, where I made 3 new friends, Don and Anne Marie and Carolyn. I've joined the choir. I did a sermon. I've been singing once a month with Layla. I've done yoga with Jennifer. I've done the class with Ali and the meditation and movement with Kamau. Attended the Cafe 704 repeatedly times and a multiple of one-time only events. I just don't know what I would do without this community. It's just such a fabulous, rich part of my life. Thank you all.
I was sitting there thinking, I couldn't come up with something specific, something really inspirational to say that I was grateful for. And then I started thinking about how I've tended to feel I had such a hard time in life. When you live with depression and anxiety, everything gets magnified, everything. And there's a great saying attributed to Mark Twain. Samuel Clemens said, "I'm an old man and have known many troubles, most of which never happened." And I've gotten to that point. It occurred to me as I was sitting there that I've gotten to the point of realizing I'm finally at 61 able to put a lot of things in perspective and to understand that I'm where I'm at and coming to these realizations because of the ongoing, unstinting, warm love that flows to me, through me, and back out again. And I honestly think I wouldn't be here if it weren't for all of you and for what you teach me every day. Thank you.
Here again. I go to a quote from Joseph Campbell. It says, "I think what people are looking for is not so much the meaning of life as for the experience of being alive." And I'm in it. And I'm at a point where I'm going through a time that I've supported others in going through, and now I'm in it. And I echo what has already been said. The extraordinary qualities of this community pass all understanding. And my only charge is, it's like, don't look back, you're not going that way. It's cool. Is to show up and be present. To recognize what Linda Hiller taught me by her being and by her life and by her journey. Everything is a gift, no exceptions. It doesn't matter if I don't see it in the moment. I increasingly see it retrospectively and say thank you.
Hi, I just want to thank you guys for you. I grew up and had to go to Sunday school, and I went to a Methodist college, which I wasn't crazy about, but I thought that was my obligation, and so I've done a lot of crazy things, and I've had maybe that too, yeah. And anyway, but anyway, I guess what I really want to say is I've gone to church a lot of times because I had to, and I was married to a Lutheran, so I thought if I went to a Lutheran church, he would go with me. Well, that never happened, and so I thought, okay, I'm not going to be a Lutheran. And so, anyway, but I just want to say is, it's just marvelous here. It's just I have to say, I come in here, I just feel like I love everybody here. I feel like everybody loves me, and I have to say, this is my favorite day of the week, and I never thought that before. And that's true. I didn't have any pumpkin pie. Maybe you did. But anyway, I just want to thank you for just for being you, because it's just it's really changed my life. I thought I was growing spiritually, but I just grow more and more spiritually here because of you guys, and you're just abundant love. It's just tremendous. So thank you to everybody here. Thank you very, very much.
Thanksgiving. I don't want to make a list of all the things I'm thankful for because I know I'll miss it. A lot of things. But I'm deeply grateful for each and every one of you, and I really want to get to know each and every one of you. I think that whole that whole picture on the Sistine Chapel of the almost contact, the almost touching. I think that's what we need with each other. We need to have those moments. I miss those that were here years ago that I've seen and I'm not in contact with. Broke my heart, Rob, when you moved away. You know, I've had lunch with some of you, and it's just, that's the whole thing. But because of my religious background, or spiritual background, I should say, it's the way I want to say it today, I want to see this grow. I want to see a center in Adrian, where I'm from. To be part of this would require us to move up here so we could get more involved with everything, like normally happens when you're part of a group. And I just think that, and I've been trying somehow, some way to get that, and that it happens down there. I think it'd really be important. And I think there's other places that it could happen too. So with that, because of my religious or spiritual experience, I see Thanksgiving as the time to make my New Year's resolutions. I always thought January 1st was just the official beer drinking holiday. You know, it just never made sense to me why we do it. But when I tie it up with the concept of, and living out the concept of Thanksgiving, it makes sense because of where I see I need to go and where I see other people, where I want to meet other people. So, happy Thanksgiving.
Where to begin? Of course, I'm thankful for this place. I'm thankful for when I started the cafe because I needed to be able to create a living room with Sue's girls living with me. I can't have people over, and so I got so much support. People like Jill doing sound, people like Maureen doing advertising, and just tremendous amount of work from this community, plus the amount of times everybody turned out. The cafe became a really important part of the definition of who I am, and I want to thank all of you for putting up with my shenanigans and honoring the space we created for the musicians. And also I'm thankful my birthday's next Tuesday, and because it always fell around Thanksgiving, my mom used to make a birthday cake, and I felt like my birthday was a national holiday. So I've been satiated. I don't even need to celebrate it now because I had so much. Same with my folks were teachers. We camped for a month in the 48 contiguous states. So I was able to work summers as a park ranger, harbor master, and different jobs and not care about a vacation because it's not that I don't love it. I was satiated. And I never had kids, and now I have 2 girls, Sue's girls, that are working, and it's just so wonderful. And this time next year, I suspect I'll be 2 doors down from them in my own place with Marilyn, and it'll be a slow, slow transition, so the girls won't be frightened, but I can age in place. So thank all of you.
This last year has been a year of loss, it feels like, in my life, beginning with my dad passing almost a year ago in December. And I can count up at least 10 people who have touched my life who have passed on. And lately, I think there's been 5 in the last month, and some of them have touched my life very deeply. Some have been people who I've known a little, but I've been full of sorrow, and I feel like I'm in the midst of it lately, deep, like I haven't known in years. And through the sorrow and allowing myself to feel it, I'm realizing that gratitude is something that I have to look to. And I pulled out a new journal to start a gratitude journal again. And it helps, the loss, the hurt is still there, but but I think that's going to be my way out, is looking at the gratitude, and I'm grateful for the people who touched my life. John Coslin was one of them, and I met him years ago before even coming here, and I'm so grateful my life crossed his again. And I'm grateful for my father's life, even though we had a complicated relationship. And at times I hated him, I also loved him, and it's the love that remains. And I'm grateful that my mom, even though her memory is really slipping, she still knows who I am. And that's something I'm dealing with. And I'm grateful for my husband for the listening and the tears I've had lately. And I'm grateful for my children and blessed to be a mom, our children. And I think the gratitude is going to get through the sorrow, and I'm grateful for that. Grateful for hope, and grateful for all of you too. This is such a friendly, open, inviting community, and I'm glad that Phil and I became a part of you.
I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for your stories. They just fill me so profoundly. They just fill me. Your stories fill me with love and kindness and all the things that I need for my life, to live my life. And I've been doing gratitude journals off and on for a very long time. And one of the sayings about gratitude is the more you give thanks, the more you have to be thankful for. And I've certainly found that every time I get into my gratitude journal, more and more and more things I think of that I am so grateful for. And one thing I'm grateful for that I never thought I'd be grateful for is laughter is one thing I thought I'd be grateful for, and I'm very grateful for laughter. But one thing I'm grateful for is doctors and medications. That I'm on Parkinson medication now. That I can walk with ease. I can walk without stiffness. I still shake, but the shaking doesn't bother me. The walking. The difficulty walking and just moving, having to think before I moved, and having my favorite position to be sitting down was very difficult for me, and now my favorite position is walking again. So I'm grateful.
So I'm going to tell you a quick story about being grateful for this place. A while ago, Juana and Olivier would attend here. And Olivier was from Rwanda, and I remember sitting over here, and he had spoken to me about what it was like to grow up in Rwanda. He was a refugee living here. He was married to, Juana was Bosnian, maybe? I forget. Ukrainian?
No. That country west of Ukraine.
These beautiful people. So I was sitting behind Olivier, and I thought about the genocide, and I thought, how, Spirit, show me how do I respond? I can go linger in the low vibrations of everything I can think of about what this person might have lived through. Or I could be higher. I could be a higher light in this world, and meeting this person is asking me to do that. And I felt Joshua's presence come through, and love flowed to him so forcefully. It was such a moving and beautiful experience. And he turned around and he looked at me, just puzzled, like, poof, what just hit me? And it was just the holy instant, the choice, the thought, who is this person, and how do I, what
am I capable of to heal, to be part of the solution for this person? He didn't ask me to serve, he didn't ask me to participate, but his loving presence and willingness to share with me was that opening. And Lisa Smith, Jillian McCommons, Karen Jones, there are so many people who have come through here and inspire me and teach me still. And they're not sitting with us right now, but I am so grateful that I was in the room with them and learning from them and how, growing my practice because their loving presence was with me. So, thanks.
I was trying to figure out how to say this, but I wanted to say, Nora, that I understand what you're talking about, and that if you've had a history of trauma and depression and anxiety, your brain tends to go towards the negative, and you fight all the time to find some pieces of gratitude, and you work on it. And I just want to say I have been very blessed in terms of having certain groups of people be available to me during particular periods of time. In high school, I found a group with whom I just recently have connected again, who got me through that time. And we look at each other and we say, I wouldn't have made it without you. And those those people are still loving, appreciative individuals who see me for who I am. I found people in college. I found people in social work school where there was 5 of us women who just became a force in that school just because we held each other up. I am grateful for my 2 spirit sisters, Edie and Laura, with whom I spent the entire day yesterday, and with whom I find my spiritual grounding. And I have other groups who have shown up in my life to act as substitute families, and I'm appreciative for them as well. That being said, I want to say how much I appreciate this center as well. Basically, in 2008, you saved my ass. And because I was going through a terrible, terrible time. And coming here just gave me something to go on, even if I couldn't feel the hope. And I just want to thank you for your friendship and your connection with me. And I hope to continue that and deepen our connection here with one another. Thank you.
And thank you, and that's what we're here for, to speak to our Thanksgiving, and I think of that in terms of appreciation. I appreciate this community, I do. I appreciate my prosperity. I'm very fortunate, I'm very prosperous, and I appreciate the friends in the community that I associate with and the opportunity to share. But I think the biggest thing that comes out of the awakening to appreciation is the opportunity to be of service and to be giving. And I see each day as an opportunity to do good some way, somehow, and to be calm and peaceful and enjoy life. And I appreciate that deeply. And I intend to take every day with that same attitude is I appreciate life. Life is good, and that's the way I will live it tomorrow. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Greg, and I come here infrequently, but here's what I'm grateful for, is that there's been a lot of talk about depression. I'm 63 years old, and I have mid to low depression for 45 years of my life. A couple of weeks ago, something really strange happened to me. What happened was I was sleeping, and I bolted out of bed, and I was in dream time. And through this whole dream, I went to my junior prom, and I had a wonderful time. And the thing was, is that I got up and I said, wait a minute, I didn't go to the junior prom, I was too shy. You know, but the thing was, is that I don't really believe in past lives of like you being Napoleon and things like that, but my past life, my 13-year-old was going, whoa, this is great stuff, you know, and I said, but it's a lie, and he said, it's great stuff, and then a couple of nights later, it seemed like, I could give you all kinds of examples, but here's the best one you know about me. It's Peanuts. Charlie Brown's sitting on a bench. Charlie Brown basically says, today I'm going to walk over and say hi to the little red-haired girl. And then he looks again and he says, yep, gonna do it today. Today is the day. He gets up, he sits down, and he says, it's easier to flap my hands and fly to the moon than to go up to the little red-haired girl. Most of the time in my life, I'd say, I orbited the moon many, many a time. So what happened was that there's more dreamscapes, and the girls that I wanted to date in college, you know, I dated, I had fun, and then I just said, you know, this is still not making sense. And then one of them said, you know, when your friend Stan basically wrote a book that said fantasies will set you free, and I said, you know, Stan was a great speaker, but his book sucked. And but the thing was is that then I said, wait a minute. The fantasies are setting me free. And each time I go into dreamscape, my past self says, I love you, I forgive you, and I set you free. And then I look at him and I say, I love you, I forgive you, and I set you free. What's happening now is that, no, I'm not super happy. I'm content. Sometimes I'm happy, but I'm mostly content. And that's a hell of a big thing rather than being down in the damn dumps, you know. Amen. That's it. Thank you all.
And I'll be really brief, something new and different for me. I happened to hear a broadcast by Terry Gross of an interview with Adam Cohen, the son of Leonard Cohen. And as it turned out, in the evolution of the story, there was a family of mother, father. Father was Leonard Cohen, son was Adam Cohen, and a sister, and their lives, the profile paralleled mine with a very different perspective. And it carried to me the message of there's another way to look at this. So we all come together as human beings, being human, different in some ways, and yet the same in almost every way. That's just Terry Gross interview with Adam Cohen, the son of Leonard Cohen. It's like amazing. That's it. It doesn't really say much, but
Greetings. I have 3 one-liners. H.G. Wells said, if you fell down yesterday, stand up today. The next one is by Joseph Campbell. If the path before you is clear, you're probably on someone else's. And then the deepest one of all, a Moroccan proverb. At the gate of patience, there is no crowding.
I've had
called to mind 5 things that really don't mesh, but they do. The first one is, I remember the Thanksgiving as being a very special holiday for me because it was the first time I didn't have to sit at the kids' table in the kitchen and I could sit in the dining room with the grown-ups. The other thing, another thing I think of was yesterday, John and I went to see Harriet. And I'm grateful for the courage and the audacity of that woman. Beautiful. I thirdly am very thankful for Mary Alice. I don't see her here today to thank her for the suggestions that she put in her email. The one of them was about the day of the American Indian refers to Thanksgiving as a day of mourning, and there's a celebration even in Boston, I believe it is today, celebrating or commemorating the day of mourning. I'm grateful for the patience and the insight and the love of those people, for nature, and for their willingness to endure. And the other thing, last thing I'm grateful for, I had a call from my son in Venice at about 3 o'clock in the morning last night, and the water was coming up again. And he, my grandson and 4 of his friends with parental permission, cut school all week, and they have been at the National Library. You'll appreciate this, Esther, putting papers in between the pages of as many books as they can possibly rescue from the waters. And Greg was telling me that Vivaldi's 4 Seasons, that was in the manuscript in his own hand, has been destroyed, as well as some canalettos that were leaning against the wall of all places in the basement of St. Mark's. But they have such a plethora of art there that they take it for granted. And I got up this morning and got my favorite cup out of the cupboard that has a chip in it. I love that cup. I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful I got to see those things in Venice before they were destroyed. And I'm grateful for the life I live, for every second of it, and I want to live it as long as I can. And I'm grateful for the friends that I have met here. I never in my life dreamt I would find a place who would accept the iconoclastic Marilyn, but they have, and thank you for letting me be me. God bless.
I'm grateful for the Interfaith Love Fest every Sunday, being out. Since I'm the greeter czar, I get to hug everyone. So that just goes along with everything everyone has said about how grateful they are for, how much love there is in this place. It's really unique. I'm grateful for the little slice of sunshine that shined on my back all day. And my parents who passed 2 years ago, I keep still putting things away in the house that we brought back. And so I get little reminders, but especially my dad, little notes that he'd written on things of how to use them and this and that. he's just so present with me, and I just really feel all that he gave me that I rejected all those years. And what comes to mind is his little ditty about gratitude that I'd like to share. It's easy to grin when your ship's coming in and life is a happy lot, but the guy that's worthwhile is the guy that can smile when his shorts creep up in a knot.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. We went really late today, but gosh, how could we stop? So I'm really grateful for all the sharing, and it's on video. If you don't want yourself to be on the video, contact Craig. But I'm certainly going to enjoy looking at all this again and being able to really enjoy it at a slow pace. So now's the time that we share.